Alright gang, so some of you are familiar with this location. I kill a lot of deer here, and I think I posted a few videos of it. This is the main trail that goes right into the field. I don't sit right here, but I'll use this tree for an example. Everyone's asking me, what do I sit on? How do I match my camo? If a deer comes in behind you, how do you shoot it? Well, I'm going to address those few questions real quick on a video. And first one I want to go over is when you're sitting on the ground, which I do sit on the ground. I sit in a lot of places. If I see a good fallen down tree, provides a lot of cover around me, I'll sit on a tree. But typically I like to be as low as possible and just below the hedge line. So here, I'd say most of the bushes, which you can't see around me here, are about 5-6 feet high. So I can't get above them, so I'll shoot through them and I'll create a little shooting lane. I usually sit right up in here, and there's already a shooting lane here, and there's another shooting lane over here. So I'll get up behind that thick brush there. And when I sit on the ground, first thing I look for is, I like a little lip. Like, you see how the ground comes up and drops back down in about a foot, foot and a half? I'll sit on the other side of that. That gives me cover for my legs. So what I mean by that is when I'm sitting down, this hill is about this high. There's one here and there's one on the other side of me. So now when my legs get uncomfortable, I can move my legs around. Some people like to use these. You can. I'd recommend, if it elevates you too much, dig a hole and set it down in. Keep your body down low. The other thing you're going to want to be extra careful of when you hunt the ground, or you have something like this and you dug a hole and you're sitting down low, remember, the rotation of your cam has a flat spot. So if you draw back and this flat spot is right level with the ground, maybe really close to the ground here, when the high spot rotates, it'll smack the ground. So if I'm at full draw and I release, the bow will smack the ground and I'll miss my shot. So what I do, first thing I do is I draw back and I look at the spot. So my bow's going to be right there. This is going to be my shooting path. I want to make sure my cam does not smack the ground when I release. So I dig a hole, a 4-inch deep hole, probably about a 1-foot radius. Drop it down in. I put my glove down in there. And this is how I sit in ready position. If there's leaves on the ground in the fall, I'll sit and relax like this, probably rest my bow on my head and lean back if I have a tray. If I don't have a tray, I just rest my bow on my head and I sit like this. This time of year, you cannot hear a deer coming in without the dry leaves on the ground to make all the crackle noises. So since they sneak in on you and you can't move, this is how I sit, just like this. So my only movement is to adjust my left hand, turn my head, and now I'm in shoot ready position. So when I draw back, I don't do one of these, or, you know, really just, you know, I pretty much just extend my left arm and draw back with my right. And as I start to draw, then the cam comes out of the hole. So it looks like this. And then I'm ready to take my shot. Sometimes you may get stuck right here. I'm going to recommend you practice this for a long time and bring it back. At home at night, just sit in your bedroom before you go to bed. Do like 20 reps every night. Because if you're going to hunt on the ground, you're going to try and get those 3 to 7 yard shots. You're going to need some strength, some muscle endurance to maintain that position when they look up at you. I rarely draw back if the deer is in plain sight, if the eyes are in plain sight. People who use bait, take the bait, put it on the other side of a tree. So if you're looking this way, this is the tree. You put the bait right on the other side, maybe a crushed apple or something. Get them to stop, put their head down. Now their eyes are not within sight, so you can do a quick draw. And when I say quick draw, I don't mean a real rip. For me, a quick draw is about like this. It's from here. As soon as I see that spot, this is a quick draw. That's as fast as I go, no faster. For target practice, I shoot 60, 65 pounds. For hunting, I lower it quite a bit, maybe 50, 55 pounds. Again, I don't shoot beyond 10 yards, rarely, unless it's a big buck. Maybe I'll go 11, 12 yards, but in most scenarios for me, I can't make a shot like that because look at the brush around me. There's too much. So I can see, have a clear shot up to about 7 yards around me here. So most of my shots are within that. And most important is making sure you put the glove down. You don't want your cam resting on a rock or something like that. So make sure you put a glove down. Make sure you're quiet. You don't move your upper body. So when you get a position, I like to rest my head. I rest my head just like this with my other hat, not this hat obviously. And this is how I sit. I close my eyes even. Open up once in a while and I just rest. And as far as shooting this way, I don't. Behind me, I don't even look. A lot of people make the mistake, they hear a deer behind me, right away they start doing this because they want to see it, and it's looking right at them. You can't move, you got to sit, you got to be patient. If that deer never comes in front, in my view, I don't care. It moves on, it moves on. I only worry about this field of view right here. That's it. I see from I usually face this way, and I rest my head and I shut my eyes. And when I open them, I can see to my left, I can see to my right, I can see my shooting lane, and that's all I need to see. I need to see nothing else. I think it was last year or the year before, it was pretty freaky when I knew it was a bear behind me, and he pushed through the bushes, which was actually right there, about 10 yards that way is where I was sitting. He pushed the bushes on top of me in the dark. You bet your butt I wanted to turn and look to see how close he really was, but again, I just sat like this comfortably. He hung out for about 30 minutes investigating what I am, then left. So I hope that's helpful. If you have any other questions, post them publicly, and maybe I'll create another video for you. Good luck hunting.